Alien fans, we're standing right on the brink of Alien Earth Episode 7, Emergence! Guys, everything we've been whispering about is about to collide. Wendy's evolution, Boy Cavalier's empire, Kirsh's secret past, the Eye Monster's machinations. Emergence feels like the moment this show stops simmering and hits full boil. Just like those old Alien comics, Earth Angel and Earth War taught us, once the xenomorphs and the chaos reach out into the open, the game changes forever. Let's kick off with what emergence means as the title. To emerge is to break free, to come out, to reveal everything hidden, everything suppressed, everything controlled. In the context of this show, that suggests what we've been waiting for. Hybrids may be escaping, allegiances cracking, monsters not just contained but moving. If Season 1 has mapped the rules of this world, the corporations, the lab cages, the hybrids' lack of autonomy, the xenomorphs under lock and key, Episode 7 might be the one to shatter the glass. Hello everyone, this is Digital Charcuterie. My name is James. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you're new to the channel and a fan of Alien and Alien Earth, hit that subscribe button. I talk about it and discuss it with you all weekly on this channel. Let me know your thoughts of Alien Earth Season 1 in the comments down below. What have you liked, disliked, and what do you hope from a possible Season 2? It looks like Season 2 is all but confirmed at this point. The ratings are high, viewership is high, and everybody wants a Season 2 of this. Going into Episode 7, if you've seen the trailer, the little tease that they give you weekly, it's looking like it's really going to hit the fan this week. I think Smee's next to go. Smee's going to go. I think Arthur's going to be made to be the villain internally. In Prodigy, they're going to think Arthur has been the one to kind of cause all the chaos, but we'll see where that's going to go. But first, let's pull into those comic echoes. Aliens Earth Angel and Aliens Earth War both take similar ideas. Terror and civilization, monsters walking among people who thought themselves safe. Earth War especially shows what happens when infestations aren't nightmares in the dark, but headlines in the city. Emergence looks like it may draw from that energy. What if instead of just being on an island lab, the threat is teased out into places people live, work, travel? The echo of Monster in Suburbia, Monster in the City gives Alien Earth room to grow into something bigger than labs and scream rooms. Okay, now let's get into where Episode 6 left us and how it leads into Emergence. Wendy's arc has shifted so much. She's not just scared, she's learning. She's mirrored in visuals with the xenomorphs and scenes that almost as if they're shadow versions of each other. In Emergence, she has to decide, remain student or step up. She might lead the hybrids, confront Prodigy's control room, and maybe even negotiate with the creatures in some way. But if she does nothing, someone else will take control, or the Eye will. Then, of course, there's good old Boy Cavalier. Control has always been his religion. He likes being untouchable, rewriting the rules, making people fear what they don't fully understand. But Emergence is going to put the arrogance to the test. Protocols break. People rebel. The lab walls crack. He might think he's orchestrating from the center, but there are wild cards on the board. Wendy, Kirsh, and the Eye. I suspect we'll see him try to reassert control, make massive decisions that expose how fragile his power truly is. Kirsh, of course, remains the wild card. We've been speculating hard. Was he built by Yutani, then modified by Prodigy and Boy? Does he even know how much of his programming is his own, and how much is someone else's? In Emergence, he may be forced into a reveal, maybe his origin, maybe a betrayal, maybe both. There's also the strong theory that he's not just going to break from Boy, he might be part of a bigger plan than we expect. Maybe his role shifts when things start emerging. If he opposes Boy, that changes the power structure. If he supports Boy, but secretly plans something else, that twist could redefine the show. And then we've got my boy the Eye Monster. Emergence gives us the moment for it to step up. It's been creeping in the background, but it's clearly more than just a predator, more than just a parasite. It tests containment, it uses hosts, it manipulates. What if it emerges as a rival alpha predator, not just for surviving alongside the xenomorphs, but competing with them? Maybe it hijacks hybrids, maybe it continues to use people like puppets. We've seen in all the trailers released so far that factions are already breaking, betrayals are teased, an escape plan is in place. The Eye might be in the center of all of that, seeding mistrust, creating chaos, choosing whose body or mind to control next. Now let's talk bigger scale here, and we're going to talk about city implications. If Emergence involves breach beyond the facility, if labs fall, hybrids escape, xenos get out, then we could be heading toward the Aliens in the City arc. Once humans in urban zones realize what's happening, it's not sci-fi horror as abstraction anymore. It becomes headline disaster. Infrastructure collapse, quarantine, media panic, corporations scrambling. That's where Alien Earth could mirror Earth War from the comics, when the monsters are no longer rumors, but outside the lab, chewing through city blocks. Now, I don't expect that to happen this early. That even might be a season 2 tease if it were to happen. I think that this season's going to end pretty disastrously for everybody, but you got to think a Xeno or another alien species is going to be surviving this season going into season 2. But going back to the comics, that connection does matter. Earth War and Angel show what happens when the nightmare becomes public. Those stories wrestled with moral collapse, civilian victims, governments falling, concealments becoming lies. Emergence looks like a preview of that. Escape plans, betrayals, the breaking of factions. If Emergence pulls this off, season 2 can use this as a leap point. I think Emergence might drop the first seed of what could become Predator Badlands. Why? Because if xenomorphs emerge and become one of the bigger threats, you've set a hunting ground. Predators are always drawn to apex threats. If this franchise is expanding, if the show is having the confidence to leak xeno danger into society, then referencing or introducing the idea of hunters isn't far off. Maybe it's subtle, some tracking tech, some mention of ancient predators, some corporate interest in weapons to fight xenos that anticipate another fight. That kind of tease in Emergence could lay groundwork. So here's some things I think are going to happen in Emergence. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Wendy's going to side with Joe and decide she has to leave the island. We've seen her urging with Curly and Nibs that they have to leave, that they're not safe there, that she figures they never were. So I think now she's going to actually take Joe up on the offer of getting the heck out of there. And I'm not sure what's going to happen with Dame Sylvia here, but it doesn't look good. I think, and I said this off the top, I think Arthur is going to be made to look like the villain in this scenario. Like, he's the one that unleashed the specimens out. He was getting revenge on being fired, and they're going to put Dame Sylvia in with him because, of course, they are a married couple, or were a married couple. But now where does that leave her? Where does she end up? I suspect she's going to help with Wendy and Joe and trying to get the heck off of that island. There's going to be a major confrontation. It might not be alien versus human or human versus other specimen. It might be the eye monster finally escaping, finally taking its shot against the Xeno. Smee, I think Smee's gone. I think he's going to die this episode. Public danger starting. This is probably going to be saved for the final episode, for the season finale, but Yutani's going to get wind of what's going on Neverland, and I think there's going to be major implications because of that, and I think they're going to look to, and other people have said this as well, but I think they're going to look to nuke Neverland Island. Now, whether or not that becomes the case, whether or not they do that in this season or another season, that remains to be seen, but I think this is the beginning of the end of Neverland Island, and we're going to get that right now. This is when we have Morrow in there. Yutani's going to get wind of it, and they're going to shut it down because none of the other factions out there are going to want this to proceed. Emergence isn't about piling on threats. It's about changing the shape of the entire story. By episode's end, the status quo won't just be broken, it'll be gone. Survivors will have new sides, new alliances will form, and it might end episode 7 no longer as a background terror, but as a force that demands recognition. And if it does, I'm really going to miss the sheep. I'm not going to lie, I'm going to miss that sheep. I kind of don't want it to leave the sheep. I kind of like what they got going on there, but, it's going to happen. If Emergence nails this, we're headed to a season finale that's going to redefine what aliens mean on Earth. It could bring war in the streets, monsters in alleys, hybrids rising, predators hunting, secrets spilling. Get ready, Emergence is the pivot. It's where secrets break, where monsters step out of cages, where humans have to fight for control or lose it entirely. Episode 7 is going to push the story so far that there's no going back. And I can't wait. 2 episodes to go, one after this one. You know that it's been boiling and the boiling point has hit, and it's all going to go chaotic now. Slightly getting Smee to take Arthur's body out. We know the chest burster's coming, right? That's going to terrify these kids. The Xeno is going to be loose on the island, unbeknownst to them. They don't know what this creature is. Now you're going to have Morrow and Yutani swooping in to take them all out. Things are escalating quickly. What we get in this episode versus the finale and the length of these episodes all remains to be seen as far as I know, but I can't wait to see where we go. And the question really is Wendy. She didn't want to leave with Joe last week, but this week it seems like she's going to want to, because she is learning things about Prodigy and about the experiments that they are, and especially Boy Cavalier and the scientists, and she's not on board with it, and she doesn't want the other hybrids to be. But that being said, we know that Curly wants to be Boy Cavalier's favorite. Will she turn on Wendy and expose her for wanting to leave, for her true feelings of Prodigy? What's going on there? This is all coming to a head. It's going to escalate, and it's going to escalate fast in these last couple episodes. I wonder if Curly's going to kill Joe. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I want to know what you have to say about the upcoming episode of Alien Earth. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you spending some time with me today. Hit the like button, subscribe button, and until next time, may you be the master of your own universe.